We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Couples Academy Show. My name is Hassani.
I'm Lakeisha.
And I'm Roland.
And we are here this morning to talk to you about all things concerning relationships. This is the place where people all over the world hang out to talk about love, life, and relationships and how to take things to the next level. So wherever you are, we want to know what city, what state, what country you're repping. We want to get back to that, acknowledging you, because if it weren't for you, there would be no us. And so this is a community that we're growing. We wanted to reach all 4 corners of the earth, and you are the ones that make that possible. So make sure you take an opportunity to share, like, and subscribe. Let the people know that we are here. There's somebody who's waiting for the information that you are hearing this morning, and they need your support. All right. Today, we're talking about an important topic because we're entering into a holiday season. There's going to be a lot of holidays. There's going to be Thanksgiving. Then we have Christmas. We have Hanukkah. We have Kwanzaa. We have New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and whatever other holidays fall in between. And during that particular time, we're going to be around family. Some we like, some we don't like, but it is what it is. So we're talking about family conflict during the holiday seasons and how to get through it. And Lakeisha is going to start us off by giving us a comprehensive unpacking of what this looks like along with Roland. So let's hit it.
All right, you guys. So yes, I don't know about you, but I absolutely love the holidays. I really, really do. And I do love spending time with family. There are some that I would rather leave in their respective places. However, we don't get to choose our family. So what do we need to do? The first thing we got to do is change our own thinking. And that's something that I've learned to do over time, literally change my thinking, because the only person I can control is me. I can't control the behavior of anyone else, right? So the only person literally that I can control is myself. And so I think about how sometimes I've gone into the holiday seasons preparing for battle, right? Anticipating that there was going to be an issue. So now it's like, you know what? Don't prepare for battle, prepare for beauty, and look for those moments when we're together that are irreplaceable, that are priceless moments that we will never get back. Those interactions with my kids, with cousins that they hadn't seen in a long time, and with the grandparents when they, when my mom was still alive, looking for those opportunities to snap a picture of her hugging one of my kids, or, hugging one of her sisters, or just one of those moments. So instead of looking for battle, preparing for battle, I prepare to find the beautiful moments that I'll never get back. Something else I thought about too. If I anticipate a problem, you can almost guarantee there's going to be a problem. Right?
Yeah, very true.
So I'm already thinking there's going to be an issue. So-and-so is going to say this, or such and such is going to do that. And so I'm already putting that out there into the atmosphere, into the universe, that there's going to be a problem. And so then I'm creating sometimes an issue that's not even there, which also can adjust my perception of the situation. It may not even be what I think it is, but I've already told myself that there's going to be a problem. And so now I go into it looking for problems, which ultimately can create problems. And so that's something that definitely I want to make sure that I don't do. And I'm encouraging you not to do as well.
Lakeisha, this is confirmation, because last night when we were talking to the foundation's members, we were talking about certain things that they should be mindful of. And it was discussed how we have to really watch our automatic thinking, because most of the thinking is on automatic, it's instamatic, it's remote control, and we get caught up in a pattern. And when you're used to thinking a particular way, it's hard to break out unless you're intentional. And some people tend to think negative, tend to think dark, tend to think the worst of instead of the best of. They're always anticipating how something's going to not work out and things are going to be a problem. And so oftentimes the realities that we face in life, we've brought We've brought intention to our circumstances and made things much worse than they could have been. So a lot of the problems, we just need to check ourselves. And when we
Yeah.
do that, we'll probably have a better outcome.
And what about the people who already naturally suffer from anxiety, right? If you already naturally suffer from anxiety and you go into this anticipating that there's going to be an issue, you're increasing your stress levels before you even get there. So you leave no room, no space before you even gather to increase your tolerance level. And also, you have no tact to act. Like literally, you are just stressed out already, raising your anxiety levels a lot of times for no reason at all. So we just have to be mindful of how we go into the situation. Instead of worrying, we just have to choose those behaviors that are going to decrease our anxiety instead of increasing.
You know, Tori said I got to go to her. She acknowledged you. She said, "Don't prepare for battle, prepare for beauty." Now that is a bomb drop saying, and it is. I wish I was home in my studio. I'm traveling. I'm in a great state of New Jersey. Otherwise, I'd give you a bomb because that's a powerful statement. And if people took that on as a mantra, as a motto, as a rallying cry, it would really change the way we do holidays.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, listen, we just have to change our mindset. The old folks used to say, when you know better, you do better, right? And when you're going into the situation, you know that bougie auntie is going to come walking through the door, that slick uncle is going to come walking through the door, and you have to make up in your mind that I'm not going to let them bother me today. Like you said, Lakeisha, I'm going to enjoy the holiday. I'm going to enjoy the time. I'm going to enjoy the family. And you have to go in anticipating great things despite the people that's coming. No, we cannot choose our family, but we can choose how we handle them and how we handle the situation, how we respond to situations. So let's just make sure, because we know better, that we go ahead doing better.
And you know what? Let me just say something on this because, to your point, a lot of people go in to the holidays with trepidation, anxiety, and fear because I just can't be around him. I just can't be around her because every time there's a situation. And the reality is, if you are 20 Thanksgivings in and you have the same issue and the same drama and the same problem, now I got to look at you because you knew that they were crazy before you got there. So, what was it about you that you didn't maintain your composure? You didn't know how to respond, not react. You didn't know how to prepare yourself to go into the dungeon, right? You got to go into the lion's den sometimes. You're in the eye of the storm. But how you show up can change the entire dynamic. And so, rather than living a life of avoidance, right, and always having to figure out how to get out of something, you have to learn how to confront things and overcome them to create a new norm and a new paradigm for your life.
Oh my goodness, that's exactly what I was thinking. I literally was sitting here thinking, why do we wait till the holidays to think about this stuff? Like, why can't we call 3 months, 4 months, 6 months before Thanksgiving, before Christmas, and let's hash it out? Like, let's confront it. Let's talk about what we need to talk about. Let's resolve what we need to resolve so that it's not the elephant in the room when we get there. Or better yet, deal with it right there when it happened the first
There
time.
it is.
Okay. So that it's not something that we're carrying from year to year, holiday to holiday, and creating tension and stress for everybody because the whole family knows, right? And everybody's tense now because you and cousin Ray Ray didn't get your issues together, right? So one of
Ray
the
Ray?
things, Ray Ray, yeah, Ray Ray, Junebug, Tay Tay, and them,
No,
whoever,
I have a
right?
cousin Renard. I don't know about Ray Ray.
Nard, cousin Nard, whoever, get it together before we go into these holidays. It's better for everybody. But one thing that we're talking about really is about our mindset and our mentality, right? Another way that we can make some adjustments before we get there is to lower our expectations. So, Roland, break it down. How do we need to lower these expectations?
We have to lower our expectations and understand that, like, to your point, just driving us right into this, why don't we deal with these situations before we get to the actual family gathering? Because not only is it affecting us, our relationship, brother and sister, mama and daughter, but guess who's watching? Our kids are watching. And what happens generation after generation? Now the cousins are acting the same way that auntie and uncle was acting. Our actions are very detrimental, not just to our own situation at that given moment, but to our children. Now they're looking at how we respond to one another, and cousins are not liking cousins and fighting against one another because it wasn't nipped in the bud. It wasn't handled, right? And so to lower the expectations simply means that we have to come together, we have to get on one accord, and we have to be mature adults. Let's just deal with the situation at hand and not keep playing games, keep letting it go on year after year after year. You know, who gonna cut the turkey? Use my knife for the turkey, right? Like, come on, let's kind of fix some things and get back in order and be grateful for the opportunity to gather, right? The pandemic should have taught us all that things can be taken away from us in a twinkling of an eye. It should have taught us we should be more loving, more caring, more understanding, more graceful to one another, and not still bickering and fighting. I mean, anybody that is not living underneath the rock should have been able to experience what we've all experienced, that we couldn't come together. We had to, talk to each other through Zoom, through the phone, 6 feet apart, you throwing turkey from the street because we couldn't, gather in a house. We have to stop taking things for granted, lower our expectations, and be bigger persons, to handle situations as they come.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on with the expectations piece that I think we should have realistic expectations. I remember my grandmother that passed away. I remember my grandmother, like every single time we would get together, my grandmother would make everything about her. Like, that's just who she was. Like, we'd be talking to, oh, my baby got straight A's in school. Well, you know what? I got straight A's too. And because I got straight A's, your daddy was smart and you were smart. Thus, your child is smart. So it all came back to me, started with me, right? So like everything was about her. And we realized that's who she is. So instead of me getting frustrated and upset about it, my expectations is grandma is going to make every conversation about her. Just receive it, let her do what she's going to do, and keep it moving.
Guys, I hope that you're getting something out of this conversation. I'm reading the comments. It seems like you are. You're watching the Couples Academy show. We're talking about family conflict during the holidays. Stay tuned so we can get to these other points. Be right back. When 45 men from all walks of life come together in one place for one purpose, there is a collective harmony that produces an amplification of power that leaves an impact on the lives of men that cannot be erased. A fraternity of legendary men, all at the tipping point, on the precipice of greatness, meeting for one weekend to turn their worlds inside out. For the first time ever, the Foundry experience. Not an event, not a seminar or retreat, but an opportunity to come face to face with the man you were always destined to be. If you want a life that's better than the one that you are living, meet us January 2023 for the Foundry experience. All right, guys, we're back. You're watching the Couples Academy show. Let me just, we're in a season of giving thanks, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank the two of you, Lakeisha um, and Roland, just for being who you are and how you serve. Doing this work is awesome, but when you do it with quality people, people who have a heart for what it is that we do, and have a not just confidence in their ability, but competence to really make an impact in the lives of others, it is phenomenal. I've heard somebody say, it doesn't matter where the bus is going as long as you're on the bus with the right people. And you too reflect some of the right people, and glad to be on this journey with you. And I was just thinking that as I'm watching, like, the last chance weekends and what we do on a monthly basis, I tell you, it's an opportunity for us to pour into others, but it's also like a reunion for us to get together and love on each other and just build our own community. So thank you for, what you've done and what you're going to continue to do in 2023. Also, just looking at that Foundry experience. Oh my God, I cannot wait, Roland. It is going to be insane. And every single man under the sound of my voice will be gnashing their teeth and ripping their shirt, right? Because they did not make the decision to be there. They allowed whatever insane opinion to get in the way, and they would have missed a huge opportunity. And if I'm not mistaken, we have one slot left. Is that right, Roland?
Only one slot left, and it is going to be amazing. I know the ladies had their opportunity in Unearthed, but the Foundry, we set the tone in January, the first of the year, 2023. Okay, we're laying the foundation for how life is supposed to be. We are creating the manhood of men. Trust me. Listen, it's going to be off the chain, and those that have missed out, you're going to have to wait until the next one.
So if you have not registered, you will be the last one to get in. So I anticipate that before Thanksgiving hits, it will be filled, and then you'll have to wait till the next one. But anyway, let's get back to this conversation. This is a really good conversation. There's a question that I definitely want to get to. And I appreciate you asking this question. It's from Christina Jackson. She says, we're Christians and love and respect our adult choices, our adult children's choices. However, how do you handle them wanting to bring their partner of the same sex to Thanksgiving dinner without compromising our beliefs? What a powerful question. I'm going to let these brilliant minds answer that, and then I'll follow up. Let's start with Roland, then Lakeisha, and then I'll add my cherry on top.
Well, the fact of the matter is, you made a point that you're talking about your adult children and adults making grown decisions of their own they are responsible for. Your adult children's choices should not affect your belief system, your beliefs. It should not compromise how you feel and what you stand on. And as long as they're coming in and being respectful and respectful to your space, then you have to love them in spite of. But the minute we start showing judgment to our children or the choices that they make, then we turn them away from us and our belief system, right? So you're not who you really say you are because you don't, accept me for who I am, right? Acceptance is one thing. Standing on what I believe in is another thing. And you just have to stand your ground. We stand our ground for things that don't really matter. But when you believe in something, when you believe in a God that you serve, and your belief system, you stand on your belief system, you welcome them in. They're only going to be there for a little while, right? And then you let them go on their way. But you show them love, and then that lets them know that they are loved.
So one of the main reasons people who are part of the LGBTQ community do not attend church is because of rejection. They do not feel welcome. They do not feel loved. They feel judged. And so why have to experience that in their own home with their family members? So to me, it's all about love. That's the reality. You don't agree with their choices for sure. And you make that known. Be very clear. Nothing has changed about my beliefs and what I stand for. And me allowing you to bring your partner to Thanksgiving or whatever holiday, or to come over or whatever, doesn't mean that I'm accepting your choices. Doesn't mean that I agree with your lifestyle or what you're choosing to do. But what it does mean is that you will always be my child. I will always love you, and I will always accept you as my child. That doesn't mean that I agree with your choices. And it's the same thing with God. He loves us, hates the sin, right? So that's the separation. I love you. I just don't love your choices, and I don't agree with your choices. But I don't want, you to experience rejection from your own family. And so
Yeah.
we're going to welcome you into our home. While you know where we stand, we're very clear, but you will always be welcome here. You'll always be loved, and you will never be rejected by your family. And that's what they're looking for, is just love.
Yeah. I think it is true that people in that community have experienced rejection. So we can't deny that. That is a fact. And I think that people need to do a better job of demonstrating love, because that's what Jesus would want. I do believe that, however, a lot of people anticipate rejection, anticipate judgment,
Mm-hmm.
anticipate a problem. And I mean, I don't know about you all, but I think churches today are just different. I think maybe back in the day it was hellfire and brimstone. Back in the day it was judgment, but now there's so many churches that are so accommodating to
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of things. You have people of that community who come in, people of that community who serve. So I'm like, what churches are they talking about? I mean, they do exist. They do exist. But I see that there's been a changing of the guards as it relates to, the LGBT community. But, to the point of welcoming into your home, I think both of you are absolutely right. Me not agreeing with that lifestyle does not make me homophobic. It's just my belief. And I don't have to uh, be nasty. I don't have to be judgy. I don't have to be rejecting. I don't have to make it clear about how I disagree with that lifestyle. I can demonstrate my love, period, point blank. You don't have to feel isolated, rejected, and judged. And to your point, I thought they were called adult, not adult, but you have adult children, and they're going to make their own decisions. And you're not going to love your children any less. You're going to love them regardless, and that's our responsibility as parents and as family members. So
I
yeah,
love, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
no, 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 no. I love. You got to love. You got to love. And
I
I think
love that Tori said, how else will they see the love of Christ you preach if you don't show it? Having them come to dinner isn't saying you accept their lifestyle. You're simply saying, I love, even though I don't agree with your choices. I love you, even though I don't agree with your choices. And I think Tori said it perfect. And we apologize, Brother Tori, that we called you a woman, Brother Tori.
oh, isn't there a woman on that? Yeah.
There is a woman on there. Maybe that's his boo.
Here's another question, though. C. Jenkins, hi from DC. How do you deal with family members that supported, hid, and lied to me when my husband was cheating? I've forgiven my husband, but don't know why I can't get past their betrayal. This is a real question because a lot of times family members, they either may be complicit, they may be a part of they're serving as alibis, or maybe they're not at all, but they just haven't come out and condemned and judged their family member because that's their family member. So it appears as though they're protecting and they're hiding. But in essence, it can feel like a betrayal because you're like, wait a minute, you knew this was happening, you allowed this thing to happen. I've reconciled with my spouse, but I haven't reconciled with you. And I think that's the key right there. The reason why you haven't been able
Yes.
to release that and forgive and move past it is because there was no reconciliation, there were no
Yes.
conversations with the family members. And I think and this is why we say when we do our last chance weekends, listen, when you cheat on your spouse, you're also cheating on your family, and you have to reconcile with your spouse, but you also need to go through a process with your children or those who are in proximity or those who are somehow impacted by what you've done. It's a necessary part because when you marry somebody, you're married into the family. There's vacations, there's holidays, there's visitations, and it becomes weird and awkward when this elephant is in the room and it hasn't been addressed.
Agree 100%. Hi, Kathy. That's Kathy. How you doing? I 100% agree with what Hassani is saying. It has to be addressed. It has to be confronted. You guys have got to heal that, because if you have forgiven your husband, then that means that you forgive everyone who was a part of that. anybody who was connected to it. Forgiveness is forgiveness. We don't get to choose who we're going to give it to and who we're going to keep it from. Like, if you're going to forgive everybody involved. And it's a constant forgiveness. We're having to forgive every single day, right? So don't pick and choose who you're going to extend forgiveness to, right? We got to forgive everybody.
And we have to understand right is right and wrong is wrong. And we understand that it was wrong what happened. We understand it was wrong that the infraction that had taken place. But to Lakeisha's point, to Hassan's point, we have to do a total healing, a total forgiveness, and a total revamping, renewal of the relationship that you have with the family members that are involved. And a lot of times we don't want to have hard conversations. And, during this process that we've been working with couples and we realize how detrimental it is when you step outside of the marriage. It doesn't just affect you or your spouse. It affects everybody that's attached to you. It affects the lifeline of who you are. And it shows up in other areas. And so it gives us pause to those of us that have come from a mighty long way from that lifestyle. Those that are in it should really stop. Those that are considering it, don't even think about it because it's too costly. It costs too much. We can think that we're getting over on one another. We can think that we're getting over on our spouse, but you will pay for it. You will pay a hefty price for it. And we have to realize that and encourage those that are doing it to stop doing it because it is not going to serve you well and it's not going to end well. Don't be the best of the bottom.
Don't be the best of the wow. Now that right there is a bomb and a hashtag. Listen, guys, you're watching the Couples Academy show. We're talking about family conflict during the holidays. We'll be right back. Stay tuned till we get to these next points.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
Hey guys, we're back. We're talking about family conflict during the holidays. The holidays are coming up. They're fast approaching. In fact, many of us are experiencing them right now. It's not just about the day, it's about the season. So there'll be ample opportunity for you to engage with family. So you got to know how to set yourself up right for this particular part of the year. Let's go back to a couple more points before we wrap this up. What's next?
All right. So when you are trying to prepare for dealing with family during the holidays, you definitely want to separate people from the problem, separate people from the problem. Sometimes there's conflict that arises. Sometimes there are comments that are made. There's conflict that occurs. And a lot of times we get into these issues with our family because they're dealing with things completely outside of us. It has nothing to do with us. They're struggling with something. They're not in a happy place, and they're inflicting whatever it is that they're going through onto everybody else and infecting everybody else with whatever it is going on with them. Sometimes there's some insecurities. Listen, I'm a 7. I got to bring the humor. Sometimes you should not have made the sweet potato pie this year. You shouldn't have made it. So you walk in with your own insecurities because your pie is not the bomb. You should have let your sister make it, right? And so you feeling a certain type of way because nobody ate your pie, but you shouldn't have made it in the first place. That's your issue. That's not the family. We told you to let Auntie Bertha do it, and you chose to do it anyway. So on a real note, though, if there is something that happens, right, there's some type of crazy comment or crazy conflict that comes up, it's not the end of the world if you don't respond right away or if you walk away. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes that's what you need to do. But if you are going to respond, I'm giving you the 4 P's. You want to pause, ponder, position, and proceed. You want to stop. You want to pause. Don't say anything. Hassani says all the time, don't share your feelings when you're in your feelings. So you want to pause for a moment, right? And literally take a deep breath and just don't say anything. Then you want to ponder. You might even need to say a prayer. Father God, in the name of Jesus, help me not to cuss so-and-so out right now, right? Whatever you need to do, because that pop-off spirit is rising. So you need to ponder. You might need to pray. Think about what it is that you're going to say before you respond. In your position, what is your position in this argument? What are you trying to get across? What are you trying to get the person to hear? And sometimes it is your physical position that you need to change because you're in somebody's face or you're yelling across the room. And then after you've done all of that, you should be able to proceed with having the conversation in a more productive manner. And that's what's most important, that we're just not lashing out at each other and allowing our emotions to take over. And use I statements. We're so big on you said, you did. No, I feel this way when you say blah, blah, blah. Bring it back to yourself. Own your stuff, right? And don't put it off on the other person to try to fix whatever is going on inside of you.
I love what Callie Power Couple says. She said, yes, Lakeisha, let pygons be pygons. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. So true. So true. This is a powerful question, though. Statement. As of yesterday, my husband is currently staying with a relative due to our conflict. So during this upcoming holiday and our anniversary, which is December 3rd, our family will not be together. How do I cope? She goes on to say, this is hard. Listen, I'm directly talking to you. You need to come to the Last Chance Weekend this year. This is the last one. For 2022, it's going to be December the 9th through the 11th. You don't have to be in this situation. You don't have to remain in this situation. And many of you, your hearts are bleeding. You're looking for help. You're looking for hope. You're looking for something, but yet and still won't make the necessary decision to get what it is that you say that you want. And I'm calling you up, not calling you out. Listen, you see that number at the bottom of the screen, 678-200-8996. Reach out to me. The world is seeing me talk to you. Okay. I want you to reach out to me so that we can figure out how to change your situation. I do not want you going into 2023 in a broken, fragmented state where your spouse is in another location. You're not celebrating holidays together. What's going to change? Like, is anything going to change on December 31st at 11:59, right? As we go into the new year, if we don't do something different? Nothing's going to change. The same misery you have in 22, it's the same misery you're going to have in 23 unless we make some intentional decisions to turn this around. And I'm not just talking to you, DWW. I'm talking to each and every one of you who think that this show is enough, who thinks that reading a book is enough, who thinks that going to a sermon on a Sunday is enough. It is not enough. It's that and a whole lot more. And your life and your marriage can be different when you put in this work. Listen, last point, Roland. How do we get through these holidays? Was there another point, or was that it?
There is one more point. Be a healer and open to healing. Listen, we all are going through something, have gone through something, know someone that's going through something, and we've all come across to the other side at some point or another, in some situation or another. And you can heal. It's a choice to heal. You can choose to heal, right? And you have to be open to it as well. And so, to Hassani's point, we give nuggets all the time, but you have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to do something that you've never done to get something that you do not have right now, right? And we have to strive and be intentional on healing. Healing was our word for the year of 2022. And though it has been painful, it has also been relieving, and it brought about a new found appreciation for ourselves, for our marriage, for those that are around us. Because when you are in a stuck place and you're not trying to heal, everything is a problem. Everything aches. You fall into a state of depression. You go into this rabbit hole of feeling like you're not worthy enough. And then your head hurt, your back hurt, your leg hurt, everything hurts. And it doesn't just affect you. Then the dog start hurting, and then the cat start hurting, and the bird doesn't chirp anymore, right? And we have to get to the place of understanding that healing is a choice, and we can choose to have more than what we have. I know you say, well, it's not for me. I'm not worthy enough. It's for everybody else. No, sir. No, ma'am. You are worthy to be healed, to be whole, and you have to get the help that you need. We are here for you, and you have to want it for yourself. You still have time left. If you are listening to me, right, you're still alive. There's still work left for you to do. So don't take it for granted. Don't take it lightly. Do not go into the new year feeling the same way when you don't have to.
Powerful point, guys. I hope you got something out of today's conversation. We've come to the end of our show, and as the old folks used to say, you ain't got to go home, but you're going to have to get the heck out of here. Love you guys. See you in the morning for another episode of the Couples Academy Show. Till then.